It mean to you?
Means a lot. It means a lot to represent this franchise.
So, everyone knows that LeBron has won his 4th championship, which was heard around the world. And after the amazing numbers he put up, I'm going to tell you why MJ is still the GOAT. When people define their GOAT, they look at how a player has dominated and impacted the game of their respective eras, which LeBron and MJ both have done very well. Even after the amazing MVP caliber season LeBron has put up, it still isn't enough to push him over the edge of MJ. Me having him as the all-time 2nd greatest player of all time, I think LeBron still needs to put a little bit more on the table before he's above MJ. And I'm going to show you guys the reasons why MJ is still the GOAT. First, overall. So everybody knows LeBron is the greatest passer in basketball. That's no question about it. This man can see the floor unlike any other player that I've ever seen. Second of all, we know LeBron is a great leader. Any team that he's not on won't win. Any team that he is on will win. Everybody knows that. He turns bad players into decent ones, and he turns great players into all-stars and superstars. We all know from his early on in his career, he has done this. And when it comes to MJ, when we think of a scorer, we think of him, MJ. He's the definition of a scorer. Everybody knows that. And when you think of defense, all-around hard work, you think of MJ, defense. And when you think of all-around skill, footwork, things like that, you think of Jordan, his unstoppable mid-range jumper and pull-up. Everybody studies his game. His game is impeccable. When many people think of basketball, they think of MJ, a dominant, skillful, all-around player with handles, defense, agility. He had it all. But he's not so perfect. Every player has their cons. Everybody knows that MJ was 1-9 without Scottie. It's acceptable. But also, people want to make the excuse with LeBron that he had to go against the Warriors all-time dynasty and he had to go against the Spurs dynasty. I do give him a break for that. I do give him a break when it comes to his record for that. But why can't people give MJ a break for his record in the first round exits? People have to remember he went against the all-time Celtics team, which is considered one of the best teams of all times. MJ also went against the bad boy Pistons with 3 Hall of Famers, Dennis Rodman, Bill Laimbeer, and Isaiah Thomas, all excellent defensive players. And MJ's all-time points are 32,000 in 15 seasons, and LeBron only has 2,000 more while playing 17 seasons, and Michael averaged 1,600 points. Imagine him not retiring. He could have easily had way more points and still been ahead of LeBron in less time. Not only that, everyone knows MJ has won more rings, but he has won them with less talent. MJ only played with 3 All-Stars while LeBron played with 10 plus All-Stars, which I'm going to show you the list right now. As you all can see here, this is the list of All-Stars that Jordan and LeBron have played with respectively, regardless of primes. And I hate to see that on most people's list that they still even say Steve Kerr was an All-Star when he averaged 6 points. 6 points. How is that an All-Star? Averaging 6 points, 1 assist, and 2 rebounds. I don't think that's an All-Star. That's more like a role player, guys. Come on now. Regardless of what I say about LeBron and MJ, they both are dominant and 2 of the greatest players of all time on my list. I have MJ as 1 and LeBron as 2, obviously. LeBron has done things that no one in any other generation has seen. He is one in a lifetime type of player. Me personally, I don't think it would never be a person or player like LeBron that we'll ever see again. LeBron is 6'9" and 250 and can run the point and do anything on the floor that he wants, guard almost any position. I give him that. And I know he didn't have help when he played the Warriors, but an all-star is an all-star. Even if they were injured, you have to remember The Warriors only had a taste of one ring. LeBron already had experience with D-Wade and Bosh. He should have known that these guys aren't on my level and I should sweep them out the way. But he didn't do that. We all know the Warriors is an all-time great team. And we know that he should have beaten them. Like he should have. Just like he lost to Dirk. There's no excuse why LeBron has lost to Dirk Nowitzki. No excuse. Jason Kidd wasn't even back in his prime. He was old and he was a role player. Dirk beat that team by himself. He beat the Big Three Heat all by himself. No excuses. And if I need even more proof when it comes to proving MJ is the GOAT, everyone knows Jimmy High Roller has just recently made a video talking about dominance and rings and talking about how hard each ring was in the respective era. And for those don't know what this list is, this list shows the finals and the SRS score of the teams played against. The SRS score is the overall score of the team that each respective player played against. And to the left circled dots, we have all of MJ's 6 rings, and they show the respective challenge that the ring was to get. And on the right, it shows the challenge of LeBron's rings. As you can see, pretty much there, 2 of MJ's rings are both above or on par with. Most people like to say that LeBron played more dynasty teams and more competition teams in the finals, and MJ played a bunch of plumbers, which is debunked, and the narrative is not true, because this SRS final score shows that most of MJ's teams he played against were more competitive and overall better than the finals teams that LeBron has played against, respectively. Even his Warriors team, which I will show you the guys list now, one of MJ's rings was more competitive than LeBron's ring that he won against the Warriors in the 2015-2016 season. Some say this SRS score method is flawed, but others think that it's legit. Yes, myself, I do believe that this method is a little flawed, but I will debunk this, guys, for you. So people like to mention that LeBron didn't have Kyrie and Love in the finals when he played against the Warriors, and they should add points to the SRS score for the level of difficulty it was to win the ring. And if they add more points to the SRS score, I think it would give him 19.38. But even if that, people have to remember Draymond was suspended for the last game, and that put a lot of leeway and gave it to the Cavaliers. So you would have to subtract some points from that. And I still think even after those 2 factors, MJ's Bulls 1997 ring is still more competitive than LeBron's ring against the Warriors in 2016. And you can see here from the rest of the list circled that LeBron's recent ring with the Lakers is one of the lowest of all seasons on the ranking for SRS score in the finals. Lastly, I want to go over achievements. As you guys can see here, these are Michael's achievements on the left, and on the right, I combined Kobe's and LeBron's achievements on the right. You know they win in the ring category because LeBron just won his 4th championship. They both have the same amount of MVPs combined as MJ and Finals MVPs. MJ beats them in scoring titles, Defensive Player of the Year titles, steals titles, and MJ gives them the edge in playoff points per game leader. And people have to remember, these are LeBron's and Kobe's achievements combined together, and they're still on par with Michael, but he still is superior in most of these categories. This is just my opinion on who the GOAT is. My debate could always change if LeBron wins 2 more rings. Alright, thanks for watching the video, guys. Like, subscribe.